All right, welcome back to Rugby Rundown. This is my official breakdown video of the second Bledisoe Cup match between the Wallabies and the All Blacks, or Australia and New Zealand if you're unfamiliar. Final score 27-7 for the All Blacks. They put in a great performance, and in this video I'm just going to break down a couple of their tries, talk about some of the influential moments. Full disclaimer right off the bat. College football actually was on right before the match here in Canada, and given that here in Canada there's not that much of a viewership for rugby, the college football game actually went 30 minutes into the rugby game, so I didn't see any of the build-up or the first 30 minutes, so I'm just going to be giving some of what I've been able to gather since. I'm still going to be talking about some of the stuff that happened during those 30 minutes, but I'm not going to be able to fully comment on it because, as I said, I wasn't able to see it, and it would be unfair for me to give a judgment on that. That being said, moving right into it, right off the bat, Australia apparently started very strong. This is one area that I'll give a lot of credit to Australia. Last week and this week, there was times when they just seemed to be able to bend and manipulate the All Blacks defense whichever way they wanted. They looked very good on attack. And that's very impressive, given that the All Blacks have been known for being quite a good defensive team in the past. So it was really nice to see them really have a great offensive attack. But big moment for the All Blacks on defense. After a very strong start from the Wallabies, they get down to the All Blacks line, and the All Blacks do what they do, and they poach the ball, they jackal the ball, they steal the ball. Right, like 5 meters away from their try line. Now, I can't speak to the buildup on that, but I think that the defense for the All Blacks in key moments was actually what won them the game. This moment was an example of that, and then another moment that I will be talking about later on in this video will actually, those were actually two of the most influential moments of the game, in my opinion, with the latter that I will be speaking on later being, in my opinion, the defining moment of the game for the All Blacks. Moving on, though, All Blacks make their way back down the field, from what I know, and they get down, and Caleb Clark is goes on his first display of strength and agility and just being a great winger for the All Blacks with hopefully great signs of what's to come for them. And he basically gets the ball on the wing, he bumps off a few Wallabies players, and he makes an offload. Now, the offload does go forward, which is unfortunate, but you could see just besides that, he didn't really make any errors there. He wouldn't give up. His legs kept driving. Good agility, great strength from a winger who's relatively inexperienced. And it actually got a few cheers because Artie Savea, from Caleb Clark's run, didn't hear the whistle and kept going with the ball down past the line, which got a few cheers, which is actually funny because that's a little bit of foreshadowing of what would happen later on in the game. But Richie Mo'unga takes the points. I thought he kicked pretty well. He missed a few here and there, but overall I think he did a good job kicking. The next thing I want to talk about is actually what followed pretty soon thereafter, which was Aaron Smith's try. Now, actually, I want to go back to the build-up to this, which actually started with Beauden Barrett and Jody Barrett forcing the scrum 5 meters out. So, for those who are unaware, if a team takes the ball back into their own try zone and touches it down, it's not a 22 dropout. It's actually 5 meter scrum for the team that was attacking. So, Beauden Barrett takes the ball, and he had some very good runs in the first half, from what I know, what I've seen, and puts a kick down the sideline, Jody Barrett chasing after it. Now, this is a kick that they probably performed thousands of times, but under pressure on the biggest stage, they pull it off and they make the kick. Now, Jody Barrett doesn't get it, but he's applying the pressure, so when the winger gets it, he has no choice but to carry the ball back over and place the ball down. This puts an extreme amount of pressure on Australia. You just have this attack that's probably been going very well. I say probably because I'm not sure. They're working their way down the field again, and suddenly they have a 5 meter scrum based off of an amazing kick. Then from there, the All Blacks go to work in their scrum. I thought their scrum was very good, and I thought their lineup was very good this week. I thought they were dominant in both, but I don't think that was an improvement over the week before. I actually thought in the first Bledisoe Cup match they were dominant in both set pieces there as well. but continues it. They win the scrum, very decisive fashion. Just a little side note, though, before I forget, Joe Moody got injured as a prop. So Alex Hodgman in his debut came in very early in the game and actually held his own in the scrum. So props to him, pun intended. So, good for him for coming off the bench in his first start very early on. But all the best to Joe Moody's family and him recovering soon, because you never want to see an experience all like that go down. But anyways, they win the scrum. They're pushing. You get the ball on a hard line to Jack Goodhue, and he crashes the ball. He gets really close to the line. Hard carry from Jack Goodhue. He had a few good moments. He didn't have any outstanding highlights, but you could tell he just put in a good performance, good shift, you could say. Gets the ball really close, and then Aaron Smith does what Aaron Smith does, right close to the line. He just sneakily pops the ball down onto the try line, giving them their first try of the game. By the way, there's a fly going everywhere, so if you see that, sorry about that. Then Richie Mo'unga makes the conversion. Suddenly, that's a 10-0 lead, and Australia's panicking. I will say good job on Australia for coming back. This is where they scored their try. Again, up to this point, I still haven't seen any of it. I hadn't seen anything that could really be able to give me a good judgment of where they were in the game. I was getting updates on my phone through an app, so this has been pieced together from what I've seen. But Corey Betty goes down. They work their way down Australia, and he goes over for a try. Corey Betty, he had a very bad game in terms of catching, but he did score a try, and I thought he has been a good winger for them overall. James O'Connor hits the points from the sidelines, from what I hear, and so props to him. Those are very tough kicks to make. Really, that's kind of where it ended. I went into halftime 10-7. Wallabies got it close again, so kind of looked like it was going to be another, close game. But All Blacks just came out firing right off the bat. That third quarter of the game is actually where it was won for New Zealand, both on attack and in defense. Now, Jordie Barrett comes in, and he gets his try 42 minutes into the game, so 2 minutes in the second half. Now, this is actually worked off of, I think, Richie Mo'unga more than anybody else. I thought he had a great passage of play here. He was really in control. So what he does is he actually, where I could kind of start it off, is he gives this offload over the top, like a basketball pass, to Caleb Clark on the inside. Beautiful display of skill. Caleb Clark crashes it up. You get a few forward phases, work the defense, get them disjointed, and the ball comes out to the back. Simple draw and pass from Richie Mo'unga to Jack Goodhue to Jordie Barrett to run it in. I will say, though, the Australian winger, number 14, he actually let them down. He bit on Jack Goodhue when there was already a tackler engaged, and him biting on the winger gave Jordie Barrett a free walk-in. At the very least, it would have made the kick more difficult, which wasn't hit anyways, but still, you gotta make that hit. But that's coming from me, who's unqualified, sitting here in Canada while he's playing. But the next try after is what was really important. So right off the bat, All Blacks kick it off. There's a bit of back and forth, and James O'Connor kicks a high ball. Now, the issue with this is it wasn't into touch, so the All Blacks were going to get it, and it wasn't contestable. So nobody was going to get it. It was obvious the All Blacks were going to have a good counterattack. Now, in terms of counterattack, All Blacks are renowned as this being part of their game. Anytime they get the counterattack and the other team's disjointed on defense, there's a very, very strong chance that they are actually going to score off of that. Because their back three are so strong, and just overall as a team, they're very talented in just working off of base instinct. So Caleb Clark gets the ball, and man, oh man, does he display such great power, such great pace. He works through the defenders, gets off like at least 7 or 8. Just a great run, bouncing off people. Finally gets brought down after this spectacular run, which actually made it more like this. He scored this try. But All Blacks get it. Aaron Smith has a beautiful pass to Artie Savea. What happens is that skips some of the Wallabies defenders, placing the ball with Savia just in the very disjointed part of Wallabies defense, really leaving them with only one defender. And Savia pretty close with 4 people on his outside. Probably should have passed it, but he just dummies, kind of gives it a little bit of a bounce off and gets over for the try. And at this point, it almost seemed like hope was lost. This is where I want to discuss actually the defense of the All Blacks. So coming off of that, obviously they've just had a very strong push. It's 20-7, and they can't let the Wallabies back in the game, because if they do, the momentum could shift. You've just had this huge momentum push, and Wallabies, credit to them, they really push hard down the field. They get really in close, and they get the ball. They're working it down and close, like within the 5-meter channel, and they get the ball to Corey Betty on the wing. Now, very close up, Corey Betty is very hard to stop. Now, what he does, he runs up, and he hits Mo'unga. He's powering through. He's decided he's going through. Now, Richie Mo'unga and Anton Leonard-Brown, as I'll discuss, do an amazing job here. Now, Richie Mo'unga is a great tackler. He makes most of his tackles. So he knows, as a great tackler, that he's probably not going to stop Corey Betty. But this close to line, his main job is to hold him up. So he gets run over, like full-on smack, dropped, and he keeps the ball here. So Corey Betty can't actually place the ball down. Now, for those who, again, are unfamiliar, if you don't place the ball down, the try doesn't count. It's not like football where you just get the ball in the air pass. You actually have to put it down. So he gets it there, and what happens is Anton Leonard-Brown comes in and grabs the arm that has the ball of Corey Betty. So with Richie Mo'unga absorbing the ball into his chest and then Anton Leonard-Brown grabbing the ball, they hold the ball up. And even though Tom Banks, the Wallabies 15, comes close to putting it down, Jordy Barrett just jumps in, and they really do a great job of holding the ball up. Now, this is actually what I think is the most influential moment of the game. This stop, this close, completely tears the life out of the Wallabies. And you see it for most of the rest of the game. Even the play after, they had a penalty coming in. They go for the corner. They get a driving maul, and they actually come close, but a double movement prevents the try. And it's almost like after that, there was no sense of them coming back, even trying. It looked like there was no hope. And to top it all off, very soon after, All Blacks worked their way down the field. Sam Cane gets a try. Now, Sam Cane's try, this is the last thing I'll really break down. Aaron Smith gets the ball to Richie Mo'unga with a dummy runner, creates some space. Richie Mo'unga gives a great draw and pass. I thought Richie Mo'unga had a great game. But he gives a great draw and pass to Patrick Tuipulotu, running into a bit of space. He gives another basketball-style offload to Sam Cane. And Sam Cane, with the Wallabies drifting this way, or if you were looking this way, towards the right of the field, they are actually don't have any inside players. So Sam Cane gives the worst step I've ever seen that has been successful and has an easy jog in. Really painful, but good on him. He's had a lot of backlash for being picked as a skipper. I thought it was great that he had a great display. He made a lot of his hits, put in a good effort. He looked like he wanted to win, and of course he came away with the try. From there, the last 20 minutes, that last try was at the 53rd minute mark. The last points came from Richie Mo'unga with the conversion right after, and the rest of the game was pretty much just a bit of back and forth. All Blacks looked after that point like they were just toying with ideas of what to do. They were trying not to show their hand too much. They know they'd won. And the Wallabies looked like they had just given up. You can't really say that, but it looked like the life had been deflated from the team. So that rounds up the game. Overall, a few standout performances. Caleb Clark, he's had a lot of praise for his game that day. On Saturday, he played hard, a lot of great runs. He obviously had that huge run where he went through at least 7 or 8, more like 10 to 12, actually. Wallabies that he just ran through. He had a great run at the beginning, and he had a few great moments in between. He looked like a threat whenever he had the ball, so good on him. Like I said, Sam Cane, great shift. He really looked like the captain that they needed. Scott Barrett came back, so all the Barrett brothers were playing, and that was good because Scott Barrett's actually He's one of the least talked about. He's the least talked about Barrett brother, but he's actually, I think, one of the best leaders. Overall, just a lot of standout moments from each of the All Blacks players. It's a bit difficult to break down the Wallabies' performance. I know last week I mentioned I am biased to the All Blacks, so I do look for that more so. But it's hard. I missed the first try by Australia, and their only points, and the rest of the game they look good, but not great. I think they suffered a huge blow. Matamua, their 12, who was one of their dual playmakers, got injured, and it looks like it's going to be a long-term injury. I hope he recovers. I do actually enjoy watching him play, but you could tell things were different when his replacement came on. Other than that, guys, sorry about the length. If you guys want the shorter videos, please let me know. These are a little bit hard on breakdowns to try and give a full scope of the game, but if you guys want it, I can break it down into overall thoughts, try breakdowns and stuff, just to shorten the video so they're more interesting. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Watch our videos. Specifically Logan, he's made a great effort. So any support to him is appreciated. Any support to me is appreciated. We will be coming out with a podcast here very soon. We're looking to film this one actually later today from when this is being filmed. But overall, peace, guys.